Today, we're going to be answering a very important question, which is, can you buy a smart security camera for under £40? Now, usually I'm one to say if you buy cheap, you buy twice, but I've done a few reviews on this channel where things have actually surprised me. So let's go on a journey together and find out if we can actually get a great deal on a smart CCTV system without actually paying a fortune. So the first thing we've got to do is get to ordering it. And to do that, we're going to consult our good friend, TEMU. TEMU? Not too sure. Let's go.
So as you'd expect, there's loads of options on TEMU for all types of security equipment, but I wanted to get the more expensive side and definitely one with solar. So this is the one I went for. It looks great. Let's give it a try.
And it has arrived, our smart battery camera from Sinocam. S-Z-S-I-N-O-C-A-M. Sinocam. Your guess is as good as mine. But we're not bothered about how difficult it is to say the actual manufacturer's name. We're bothered about the quality of the camera. So let's unbox this unit and see what we're working with.
So here is the box of the unit with the crazy Sinocam name I have no idea how to pronounce. And it's got on the side here a list of the things it's got, such as live video, night vision, micro SD card storage, PIR detection, solar and spotlight security.
There's the setup guides. That is incredibly thick. That might be every language under the sun, including all the ones from Mars and Jupiter. A mounting paper. These are actually really handy when it comes to installing devices. And a wall mounting screw positioning sticker, which again is really handy for mounting. I'm relatively happy with how it's come packaged, but there are some rips and things in it, but you know, I can't really blame them too much for that. Here we have our solar screen, which is why we upgraded on the order to make sure we got one of these to go with it. The idea of these is obviously it's going to give it a longer battery time, so essentially we won't have to be taking the unit down and charging it anywhere near as often as long as we've got this unit plugged into it. We have our fixtures and fittings, screws and wall plugs, our mounting bracket for the back plate that goes onto the back there, I think, and this here is the actual unit, and these look like the antennas that just go up on the side. First impressions are actually that it's built quite well. It's quite a heavy, sturdy unit. Now, a lot of it is plastic, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad product in any way, shape or form. It's got some weight to it. It feels quite substantial. So I think it genuinely does have some quite strong potential. It has the details on the side here, such as Wi-Fi camera, the input of DC 5 volts, made in China, of course, because what isn't these days? Made in Shenzhen. Now I know from the Godfather security system, the DIY security system that I sell, that Shenzhen is actually a fantastic place when it comes to actual electronics and build quality. So that isn't a bad sign. And we have a sign under here that says, please charge the battery fully before use. So that's going to be our first job, charging it up. I'll let you know how long it takes, and then we'll go to the installation and we'll go to the app control and things like that and give it a real test. First of all, let's get it charged. So you might be wondering, what's the benefit of having two camera heads, one that's fixed in place and the other that can move around? The reason is, if you have a type of camera, a PTZ camera that can move around while tracking something, if you have really savvy burglars, for instance, and you have 2 or 3 burglars and all 3 move off in different directions, then the camera can struggle to actually know who to track and it can get a bit bamboozled, which is why these came in where you've actually got 2 lots of cameras that are on it, because one will give it a fixed view and see the whole area, and then one will track anyone moving around, but it really reduces the chances of someone being able to bypass it by just using someone else as a decoy to move away from the camera so the camera's not picking up what it needs to.
Now it's time to scan the barcode that's in the booklet to get the app onto my phone. This was pretty painless, really, as you'd expect. You got to go through, give it all the permissions in the world, because that's just what all apps seem to want now. Go through the privacy policy and then create an account. Once you've created an account, you can start adding devices, and you scan the barcode that's on the side of the camera, and then you make sure that the camera is switched on. This took me ages to actually find this on button, so it was underneath that little rubber flap there. Then the camera, which is quite common, will do some form of movement when it's been powered up. Search for devices nearby, and then you can add your Wi-Fi on.
So far I like the look of it. There seems to be some applications that you can actually use. Now, something that has come up now is it's actually said authentication failed on the phone now that I haven't been on it for about 5 or 10 minutes. So maybe that's something I've done and I need to connect it, but it does say in the top of the screen that I've got a connection. So I'm not quite sure why it's saying authentication failed. Please delete the device, reset and add. Hopefully I don't have to do that. Maybe it's something I've done. But as soon as it's charged up to full, we'll go and mount it. We'll set it up so it can track motion and turn the lights on and things like that. We'll give it a good test in the daytime and we'll test it at night to see how it performs when it gets dark outside too. Now, the camera is fully charged. I've got all my bits and bobs. So let's go and get this installed. The weather has changed now in the UK and it is cold as so hopefully this goes in really quickly without any problems. Let's do it. Now I've got what I think is a good spot for the install. I'm just going to put it here right next to my external sounder and my external wireless motion sensor, which are both part of the Godfather security system, my own DIY security system that you can install yourself. If you go to my website, www.godfather.co.uk, select the starter bundle, select any additional extras that you may want, check out with all sorts of easy options of buy now, pay later, and you can design and install your own security system without the need for the installer. Right, let's get straight onto this. Now, using the paper that comes with the equipment, we can just screw out exactly where we need our screws, one for the solar panel and one for the mounting bracket for the actual camera. So let's get this done and dusted as quickly as we can, because it's cold.
As a security engineer of 12 years, I spend my life running cables for CCTV. So I must admit, when it comes to wireless options on CCTV, it is nice when it comes to installation because you're done in a few minutes, all done and dusted. So there goes the solar plate up now, pointing out towards where the sun comes round in my garden. Mount the back plate for the camera itself, and you're done and dusted in absolutely no time. And if you're wondering why the LED flashes in the external sounder there, it's a visual deterrent for any would-be burglar, a great security feature.
So here's our camera all installed. Got the two lenses here. Just underneath there, you can see where the cable is going into for the power. That is for that solar light there. That solar light is pushing out that way because the sun in my garden comes round that way. So hopefully that should get the best out of it pointing that way. Now let's go and set this up from the app and make sure it's working correctly. Now the problem you have with, dare I say it, cheap CCTV is the alerts always tend to be really rubbish. And it says things in here, you know, like AI detection for humans and pets and things. So we're going to put that to the test and we're going to test it at night time and then test it over the next, say, 24 hours to actually see how it's doing in terms of what it's detecting and what it's triggering from. So now we're here. We're going to test how it does for its tracking. I've also set it up to light up as well, and I'm going to put this screen on the actual display as well so you can see how it does. So I'm going to start moving around now. You're going to see if the camera's moving and if it's lighting up. Seems to be doing quite a good job.
It's worth remembering that you're always going to get a little bit of lag on a wireless camera, simply because of the amount of data it's sending over. But overall, if you've got a good internet quality, then you should be okay because you won't be hampered too much by the lag if you've got a good internet speed. So wireless options will be available for you that can work quite well. So it'll never be as good as wired, but it still will be a good option.
So that's really good, I think. There's a couple of other features as well that it's got that we're going to test from here too. So its actual pickup rate here is very good. Let's actually put the siren on. So it triggers the siren. Also, you can have the intercom on, so you can speak both ways. And that's actually quite loud when I'm standing here right now. You would be able to communicate with someone in your back garden or somewhere like that. As long as there's no road noise or anything, you'll be absolutely fine. So I guess the next test is seeing how it does just over time, making sure it's not triggering at unnecessary events. So I'll keep my phone handy, and also seeing how it performs at night.
So we have a great example here of a little visitor in my garden. You see that cat just up there on the left-hand side walking down. And in fairness to the detector, it didn't give a false alert once.
Right guys, it's night time now. We're getting a little bit of light from a security light that I fitted that I've done another video for. It's a solar security light. But basically now we're going to move around and we're going to check if we're getting notifications on the app, and then we're going to check and see how the actual image looks. So let's move now. That's the security light. And there it goes, and notifications are coming through. I am going to say that has been a lot slower than it was in the daytime. So now if I just turn on the screen record here so we can watch this together, and it's going to connect in, and what's happening here is the problem I've seen with this actual camera, and we're going to go through it now. So basically what we're doing is, on the surface of it, it's working, it's not doing too bad, the light's coming on, it would be a great visual deterrent, but there's a major problem, and we're going to go through that.
Just before we do that, I thought I'd show you what it looks like at night. Now, it's not quite fully dark yet, but I still think that's a great picture for a nighttime camera. It actually has a great infrared on it. I was really impressed with this bit.
Here is the issue we've got. Authentication failed. Please delete the device, reset and add.
Now, I've already done this. I've actually deleted the device and loaded it back on, and this keeps happening. Now, you can get rid of it by going back and you go to more settings, and then if you refresh it, it will sometimes come back after doing it 2 or 3 times. The problem is, and the annoying thing is, that even though you're getting notifications to your phone that the camera's seeing movement, you can't just click on it and then it brings you to the camera, because it keeps saying authentication failed, which is a real problem. The annoying thing about that is it's got all these great features, but it won't work properly unless you can just click on the camera and it brings you straight to the image. So unfortunately, until they can correct that authentication issue, I can't recommend this as a product, which is a shame, because it's got loads of amazing features and really good things for it. So hopefully they can address that in a firmware upgrade, and then if they can do that, great, onto a winner. But until then, unfortunately, it's just not a good enough piece of equipment, and it turns out that you still can't really get a good quality camera for under £40. Let's hope that changes. And if you're interested in the DIY security system that I talked about earlier on in the video, where you can design and fit your own security setup, then check out this video here and I'll run through it for you.